welcome back to Transformation Thursday. This series was started by Rhonda at Spanky Cola and Melody over at Transforming Melody, and as a way to communicate how God has been working in your life, how He has been changing you on a personal level. And me, myself, have a lot of changing on a personal level that I can do. Last week, God was letting me fly solo, so to speak. Now, I felt like He was just trying to see how I would handle things on my own, but He was there if I needed Him, if I ran into questions, if I ran into trouble, if I just plain didn't know where to go. I knew He would be there. That being said, I learned a lot last week about how far I've come and how much work I still have to do. I have improved. From where I started, I have improved a lot. That being said, I still have a lot of improving left to do. I still have a lot of transformation left. And I think that will be an ongoing thing my entire life. A, I am stubborn and hard-headed. Ask my mama, she'll tell you. B, life, no matter how good it's going or what you think you've learned, finds a way to throw something at you that you don't know how to handle, or that will test the limits of what you think you've learned. And all of that happened for me this week. I ran into a situation where, I feel like I've come a long way in my self-confidence. I feel like I've learned a lot about myself with how God has been transforming me. But I learned this week that I still have a lot more improvement to do. I still take some things quite difficult, or quite hard. I ran into a situation this week where I thought I'd really improved. I thought I was doing good, and then I came face to face with something that shouted at me, yelled at me that you're not as improved and you're not as ready as you think you are. And it was hard for me to handle, and I will tell you point blank that, yeah, I didn't handle it very well at first. It landed me right in God's lap. It's one of those things that, as I think about it, still kicks me in the butt. It still sends me on the downhill part of the roller coaster ride. But I'm working through it. And I know God is there for me with it, and to help me deal with everything that comes with this, I guess, gray cloud that tends to settle when I think about it. On the other hand, I also learned some things that I did better than I thought I did, or thought I would have done. I am able to make certain choices without somebody step by step instructing me in certain areas, and it felt good. It felt weird, but it felt good. I knew that I could always look back and double check with God to make sure, am I doing this right? And He's going to tell me yes or no. And I ended up doing really well this week, despite this big emotional quagmire that has been my week. Now, the things that I handled well this week could come up any other time in the future, and I might not handle them as well. Life has a way of kind of throwing curveballs and showing you exactly where you still have improvement to make. And if I were to paint a picture of how this week has felt emotionally, it would be like fog thick as pea soup that just wants to suck you in, grab your feet, and pull you down. But I haven't let it, because God has been there for me for every step of the way, and yep, I've ended up in His lap more times than you can count. For those of you that have been with my channel for a little while, you know that my husband has a genetic disease, and we are dealing with, right now, some complications from that. And we will be for a few weeks, so I know I'm going to be in God's lap a whole lot more than just this last week. That being said, I think Transforming Melody said it best, and in her transformation video, her Transformation Thursday video today, that essentially the gist of it was that the difficult times don't have to crush you. You know, and it's true, they don't. And thank you for that, Melody, because that was a perfect way to put how I've been feeling this week. And it's actually something that I wrote down to put up on my board in front of my computer, because it has been a difficult week as far as emotions go. It's been a good week. It's been a good week, but emotionally it's been very difficult. And we've come through it, and we will come through the rest of it. But I learned a lot last week. I know I'm going to learn as much this coming week. I feel like God is taking what I call the silent parenting approach this week. I feel like He has been telling me that, well, you know, now that I think about it, maybe last week was a primer for these next couple weeks. Scary to think, but I'm sorry. Anyway, I feel like God's taking the silent parenting approach this week. He's not going to deal any lessons. He's not going to give me any little instructions unless He feels I need them at any particular moment. But He will be there when and if I need Him, which is always. He will be there for questions. He will be there to bring me through whatever we're coming up against this week. And He'll probably be there to give me a sound kicking if I need it. Because again, I'm stubborn. So this week, I will be spending a lot of time with God, with Bible study, scripture study, any other way I can manage. And of course my prayer time, definitely. That's something that never changes. He is how I make it through my weeks. There are days, you know, that are worse than others. There are weeks that are worse than others. But this last week has really shown me that I have improved. I have made bigger strides than I thought I did. But at the same time, don't get such a big head that you think you've got it all under control. So I know that this week coming, no, I don't have it all under control. And it's going to be a special set of circumstances for this week and the next couple weeks. So I'll be in God's lap a lot. But I'm interested to see what comes out of this week. I'm interested to see how well I do this week. And while I know it won't be an emotionally fun week, I'm looking forward to the week. I guess I'm a person that I like to learn. Not always comfortable. Not always fun. But I like to learn, and I'm just recently learning to like learning about myself. Not about myself as far as what I can do and what I can get, but how far I've come. Kind of like, I feel like this is kind of like an assessment week for me. Time for me to look back, see where I've come from, see how differently I'm dealing with things that are coming up. We have been through these things in the past, and it's time for me to see what I've learned. And I know that with God there through it all, I'll come out just fine. Again, it may not be comfortable, it may not be easy, it may not be a whole lot of fun, but I will come through it all. I will come through it all stronger, and no matter what heads this way, be it the storm outside or a storm in other ways, I will make it through, and almost scary to say, but it'll prepare me for anything else coming. So here's to a week of seeing how God's silent parenting approach works with someone with a hard head. If y'all need a prayer, if you all need help with anything I could possibly help with, if you have any questions, leave them down below. And make sure you visit everybody else who takes part in the Transformation Thursday. There's so many people that God is working with, and He is transforming them in wonderful ways. I will try very hard to remember to list everybody and all their links down below. There are some people who take part in Transformation Thursday, and they don't have channels, so you're more than welcome to leave comments down below about how God is working with you this week, and any lessons He has taught you over the last week, and any other ways that you're transforming. Talk to y'all later.